course, it wouldn't be an Abarth video without the Monza. Obviously on these newer cars, because of Euro emissions, unfortunately the Monzas are a little bit more subdued than they used to be in the older cars. However, there is a way to make your Monza sound better for free, and I'll do a video on that shortly. Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome to the Abarth 695 70th Anniversario. For those who are new to the channel, this is my long-term loaner from Abarth UK. But the question really is, should you buy one of these? Well, if fun factor is what you're after, and Abarth in general, doesn't have to be a 695 70th Anniversario, it's something you should definitely explore because they are pretty much like little go-karts. Literally just throw them around a corner and they behave exactly as a go-kart would. Now, I've had this car for just over a month now. I was very fortunate to go to the launch of this car in Milan in Italy. And I think as time has gone on, this specific car has grown on me more and more every time I've seen it and every time I've driven it. Mainly from a looks perspective, because this car comes in what is, I guess I think it was a 1959 Monza green, which was kind of tribute to the heritage cars when it was unveiled. Also on top of this, we get these, I guess, very Marmite arches, because some people love them and some people hate them. Interestingly enough though, the people that see this car in the flesh move from going, oh, I'm not so sure, to actually, I really like them. As well off of a Euro 6, we'll have that, flipping out. The choice of which one you would go for really is down to personal preference. Now when you start to look at the prices, so for example this car starts at £29,600, which is a lot of money, but you do get some very nice things in here, such as you get the mechanical LSD as standard, you get these new Tricolore seats standard, you get Uconnect standard, you get xenon headlights standard. This car doesn't have them because it is an early build press car. But then you start to look at something like a 595 SA, which comes in around about 24,400 base. And you also get the mechanical LSD on that car. You also have things such as the carbon bucket seats, which look tremendous. And then you go one step further down and you look at a 595 comp, and that comes in from around £21,000. So the difference from a 595 Competizione to a 695 70th Anniversario is about 8 grand. Now, with a 595 comp, you can, once you start to spec things in, it does come in a little bit higher. So it's £21,000 starting price. You're never really gonna, I don't think you're gonna end up with one at 21 grand, if I'm honest with you. Unless you picked up like a lease car where you didn't spec it. Once you start to throw some of the options in, it does increase a little bit more. Now, in terms of this specific car, and I think when you look at 595 comp, 595 SA and 695 70th, they all have very kind of similar traits. They have different trims, but you still get things such as the Koni FSDs, which give you a pretty harsh ride, but when you throw in the car around a corner like this, it just grips. It literally grips. There isn't much body roll at all on this thing. It is super fun. You get the Brembo brakes as well, which means when you really need to stop, you can do. And the car weighs 1,035 kg, so the power to weight ratio, whilst 180 horsepower may not sound like a lot, it definitely delivers bags of fun. Now, being an older 595 Competizione owner and asking myself the question of should you buy a 695 70th, I think if I had a Series 3 car, which is what I used to have, and I was in the market for something cool, something different, an upgrade if you like, I would be exploring this car. The main reason is because of the limited edition value. Now obviously Abarth said they made 1,949 of these. In fact, just hang on a second, let me throw this around this corner as well. Such a go-kart, such a go-kart. And I enjoy enjoyed it even more when I was out in Italy and Abarth pulled together a little street test track for us, which was insane. I'll overlay some clips now so you can see that. But going back to my point, as an existing Series 3 owner looking for an upgraded car and wanting to stay within the Abarth range, this is something that I would be exploring, because only 1,949 of them were built to go in line with, I think it was the heritage year where the original Monza green car was created. I can't remember off the top of my head. There's so many different heritage throwbacks in Abarth that I lose track sometimes. But as a Series R3 owner, going into something like this is a great option. If you currently already have a Series 4 Competizione, there's a question to say, would you go for one of these? Because what more do you get really, other than the mechanical LSD, different trim elements? Yes, it looks a bit wider, it looks a bit cooler. You get the adjustable wing as well, which gives you 40 kilos of downforce at around 120 mile an hour. But the reality of it is, how often are you going to be driving it at 120 mile an hour to actually notice the difference? That's the reality. So, should you buy one? For me, current Series 3, definitely explore this option. Do not rule out the SASA though. You know, just because this has a 695 badge on it doesn't mean that the SASA isn't as much of a car, if not even maybe a better car for the money than this. Because the thing with Abarth and their limited edition cars is that there isn't much in the form of a power increase. The only car that's ever hit 190 horsepower is the biposto. And there's an argument to say that Abarth need to deliver something new, but they're not at the moment. So your choices are with what's currently in the range. The other thing about, you know, when you think about should you buy one of these, and not necessarily just a 695 70th Anniversario, but an Abarth in general, not only do they sound cool and look cool, but from a running cost perspective, they don't cost a lot to run. Yes, the outlay of buying one might be a little bit more expensive, but with the PCP market nowadays, you can pretty much just, you know, you can get these for around about, well, this specific car I think you can get for about 299 a month, which is quite a lot. You can get a 595 comp for 220, I think, a month, and you can get something like a 595 Pista for 199 a month. And the reason I say that is because in the current climate where we all are, you know, myself included, we're all in positions now where saving money and not spending money is something of a priority. And the main reason for that is some people have taken salary reductions because of what's going on. Some people have lost their jobs, and some people are actually just turning around and saying, I need to just downsize my car because I'm just not using it as much because I'm doing a lot more work from home. And then when you start to think about insurance and all of that stuff, you know, one of these does make a lot of sense. I mean, I could use myself as a prime example here, because when I bought my first Abarth, I went from an Audi RS4 to an Abarth 595 Competizione, and the driver for that was to save money. Different circumstances, of course, because I bought it because I wanted to save money because I was saving for a house. That went out the window when I then started to tune it and spent the money I should have been saving on the house on modifying the car and starting this YouTube channel. But ignore my own personal stupid decisions. If you were to be a little bit more sensible, then you can definitely make this car work for you from a financial perspective. Now, the other element is how good's your back? Because first of all, the seatbelt seats, they're a little harsh, you know. For people with, I guess, back challenges, there's a question as to whether you would want the seatbelts. They look amazing, don't get me wrong, they look incredibly cool. However, on a long run, they can hurt your back a little bit, especially with the Koni FSD setup, which is quite stiff as I'm on these B roads now, and I'm feeling every bump. You know, you could look at something like a 595 Turismo or a Rivali even, where the seats are a little bit more comfortable. The Rivali is stunning. You get the blue piped seats. Turismo, similar style seats, more comfortable, not as kind of seatbelt style where they're pure bucket. They allow for a little bit more softness on the back. The other element as well, when you start to look at an SASA, is I just love the way that car looks. Honestly, like with the white super sport wheels, the Campovollo grey, full carbon interior, you know, is that still the car to buy? Now, that's not taking anything away from the 695, because like I said at the start of the video, when I got into this and I've driven it, it obviously is incredibly fun. So much fun. And in terms of practicality, it's great. In terms of running costs, it's great. But as an existing Abarth owner, do you take the plunge and go an extra 8 grand in for one of these? Or do you just get yourself a Series 4 Competizione? I think the sweet spot for me is in the middle at an SASA at the moment. You know, who knows what else Abarth will bring in the pipeline, but I think if you want to save a bit of money, get all of the enjoyment that you get, have all the looks, an SASA is probably the car that you should buy. But if you have a bit more money and you want that feeling of uniqueness, because there's not many of these around and they are unique and they turn so many heads, this car, then definitely go for one of these. The Abarth 695 70th Anniversario is a car that many people look at, many people really like, and as a whole, it's a great car. So that's a quick, short little update as to should you buy the 695 70th Anniversario. I'm very pleased to have this for such a long period of time. It's allowed me to go back and forth to all of my Abarth meets that I used to, get back in the community, show people this car. And like I said earlier, the more people that see this, the more people that want it. But anyway, guys, that's a quick, short video. I hope you've enjoyed it. My name's been Stef. You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't done already. And I'll see you all very soon on the next video. See you later, guys. Bye bye.